Hello. My name is Aniruddha. This video is a celebration of the recently concluded Paris Olympics. I'll start by speaking about what attracted me to painting these Olympians, and then I'll dive deeper into the technical aspects of the steps that I'm taking. Even though each of the four women are at different points in their run cycle, the steps I take to illustrate each one will be the same. The reference for what I'm painting is an image from the women's 200-meter race. It's an image clicked from a slightly overhead angle. Now, I've chosen not to share that reference image because the Olympics are rather strict with their copyright rules and I don't want a strike on this video. When urban sketching, many sketchers consider adding human figures to be the most difficult part. A well done human figure really adds a sense of depth and proportion to a scene. But if you get the proportion of the human figure wrong, everything about the scene just seems a little bit off. Something sketchers often do is they add their figures at the end of the sketch, and they use this very standard template for a human figure. There's a lot of demos here on YouTube calling them carrot figures, and all their figures are either coming towards the viewer or going away from the viewer. Seeing that same template repeated over and over gets boring very soon. I thoroughly enjoyed this year's Olympics, and what I noticed is each sport requires such a different physical action and requires its athletes to have such varied physiques. My drawing technique does not rely on realism, my drawing technique relies on gesture. And I saw all these varied actions and varied physiques as a lovely way to practice human gesture. For each of the four women, you can see that I've put down a stick figure of the gesture they're in, and I'm building their muscles, their body around that stick figure. Those stick figures ensure that the proportion of each woman is accurate. Not just the proportion of the body, but also their proportion in relation to each other. When painting these figures, I am almost completely skipping the family of light values. My attention begins with the family of middle values. Irrespective of their color, I am connecting all these middle values together. An interesting element in this figure is some of the blue from her shorts is also reflecting onto her rear leg. It's through observations like these that I bring realism to my sketching. Now I'll add her hair, and suddenly the entire figure will start making sense. Among the four, I think this one was my favorite. Now for the shadow. I need to be mindful of the fact that all the shadows need to be at a similar angle. I got the angle a little bit wrong, so I needed to fix that with a few extra strokes. She needs a few more dark hits and then I can move on to the next figure. This girl is white skinned. Preparing all these different skin tones was very challenging. Not something I had done before, but something I really enjoyed doing. Now, one thing to keep in mind that although I am calling them girls and women, these are just a collection of shapes, and I need to paint them in as a collection of shapes. I'm not painting a pair of shorts, I am not painting an arm, I am simply painting in a shape. I need to be mindful of that. The rule of perspective dictates that the figure closest to the viewer should have maximum detail. While I did get the level of detail correct for most of the figure, I wasn't very happy with what I ended up doing with her face. A few more finishing touches, such as the shadow, and then I'll be happy to call this study complete. I thank you for joining me here today. Please remember to do all the YouTube things. Like this video, subscribe to my channel, and share it to any of your friends who might be interested. I have another Olympic special video in the pipeline which will be out sometime later this week. But in the meantime, you can also check out some of the suggested videos that have just popped up to the right hand side of your screen.